Good morning, welcome back to Turbo Tortoise Tech. My name is XXXL and this is your tech news in 6 minutes or less. Intel kicks off with a big win in single core performance and a new 10850k for the system integration markets. Samsung debits another top of the line NVMe. Cyberpunk says get DX12 or go fishing. Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay footage leaks. And I tell you what's hot on the Evetech specials page this week. While Intel's naming convention might be getting a little bit wacky, the i9-10850k is absolutely thumping the ultra-low voltage AMDs in single core performance. Now, of course, these are ultra-low voltage chips that are being tested against a single core setup chip. It does look like this chip is being angled in the direction of the gamers, but it's not actually losing that much multi-threaded performance. The 4700U Ryzen has 8 cores, 8 threads, and lost to the 4-core 8-thread in multi-threaded and got thumped by 30% in single-core performance. So it does look like Intel, as I may have alluded to in previous episodes, is focusing heavily on the mobile market because it's a much bigger chunk of the market itself. Now, it didn't quite beat the 4800U in multi-threaded, but that's now 8-core 16 threads, so that's got simultaneous multi-threading on the chip, but it did still beat it by more than 20%. This is only on one benchmark in Geekbench, and it doesn't mean that it'll be 20 or 30% better in gaming, but it's definitely a good first foot forward, and I'd love to get one with an RTX 2060 Max Q so that I could test like for like versus the 4900HS. But this being a 4-core 8-thread, it probably is going to be the best budget buy or best gaming buy for the foreseeable future. In some desktop news, there's an 10850k which is making waves and surfacing here and there on the benchmark statistics, and it's basically the 10900k with 100 megahertz chopped off of the base frequency. It does still boast a 5.2 gigahertz max boost, but I don't think it will do it with the thermal efficiency or thermal requirements that the 10900k has. It's not been announced for like normal channel stuff, so don't get your hopes up just yet. It might only be for system integrators. We'll just have to wait and see. Samsung is clapping back in the NVMe market with their new 980 Pro. Now, these do top out at 1 terabyte, but with their Pro series, they're looking at a much lower density flash setup so that they can use 2 layers instead of 3 for reliability and speed. Of course, this is why it then has a size limitation. So we will probably see a 970 Evo coming out in the future. But some of their Pro drives, I just want to point this out, have done 2 petabytes worth of transfer before failure. A normal NVMe gets to about 700 terabytes. That's 0.7, or in this case, 0.35 of the total one of 2000 terabytes that the Samsung is able to do, which is just like, it's wild. I think we can all agree it's wild. And when Samsung puts a speed on the box, you know that that is going to be the speed in the box. Just give me, I want it. Just Samsung, please. These Pro drives are literally so fast, they can switch off the light and be in bed before it's dark. CD Projekt Red has said if you do not have DX12, you will not be playing Cyberpunk 2077. So if you're on a Windows 8 platform, well, rip, get out of here. The reason that they've done this is pretty simple. Because DirectX 12 is going to be the rendering API for the new Xbox, it does mean that it saves them from having to do a console port or a PC port from whichever platform they develop it. Now they can just develop flat across the board for DX12 and it'll be able to play on anything that's DX12 supported. In some good news though, there will be a GTA mode. So if an NPC looks at you in the wrong way, quick save and, well, you know what to do. In some unfortunate news for Ubisoft, their Assassin's Creed Valhalla footage has leaked, and there are some images circulating on the internet. Out of interest for their well-being, I'm not going to show any of the video content itself, but I've got a couple of pictures that I will flash across the screen for you now, and it does look really good. It is following on from the Vikings hype that we saw with the show, you know, on the History Channel and that sort of stuff. So I think there's definitely a hype around it with God of War 4 and all of that sort of stuff that's happening currently, or has happened in the last few years. So, but hey, it looks really good and it looks very Witcher-esque, which is a good thing, to be honest. Lastly, having a look at your Evetech specials for this week. SteelSeries QCK mousepads become almost free. Hikvision's 128GB, 256GB and 512GB SSDs are at a steal. Gundia's Aeolus 5-fan pack is under $1,000. Evetech 650W PSUs are at a steal. Gundia's Athena M2 full mesh cases are under $1,400. Lenovo takes the top spot for 1080p on a budget. Dell's 24 inches hot on their heels. And LG's 24-inch 144Hz is still the best way to get high refresh rate on a budget. That is unfortunately all we have time for today, but in my hands here I do have the brand new MSI Z490 Meg Ultra Beast Super Top Level board, and in my left hand an Intel i7 10700, and I've got a 10700K and a 10400i5 or 10400F i5. So I will be putting these to the test later in the week. So stay tuned, and we'll see you again on Thursday. Until then, have a good day. I'll see you on the flip side.